What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Real GP Zerker edition. This is going to be our last episode. So this is the 15th episode in the series, 15 different NPCs and a boss, because this one we are going to be checking out Barrows on a mid-level account. And I think my Zerker account was actually perfect for this because it is a Zerker, so I don't actually have the ability to finish the Mauritania Hard Diaries, which means I will only be getting the normal amount of runes, which I think is going to be really useful for mid-level accounts that don't have that done yet, so we can figure out how much a mid-level account can make here without that special perk of the 50% more runes. First up, we are going to talk about a little bit of statistical information about the Barrows brothers stats. So the first one is going to be Carol, the ranged brother, level 100 hit points, 1 attack, 1 strength, 100 defense, level 1 magic, which is important for mid levels, and level 100 range. Now, if you're a higher level, erring on the side of probably 115 plus combat, you should be meleeing Carol because you will hit very well. Level 100 defense could be a little bit difficult for our mid-level accounts, but luckily, level 1 magic means Carol has no magic defense even though he's wearing ranged armor. Your trident or any magic style weapon that you're going to use is going to hit just as well on Carol as it will on the melee brothers. As for the mage brother, Aram, level 100 hit points, 1 attack, 1 strength, 100 defense, 100 magic, and level 1 ranged. As for the defensive stats here, 0 to ranged, so your option here is going to be ranging the mage brother, but once again, if you are a higher level account, you can take Aram out very easily with melee. And last but not least, the melee brothers, Darok, Guthin, Varrock, and Torag. We don't really need to worry about any of the stats here except for level 1 magic, so it doesn't matter what kind of gear you're wearing, as long as you're using something with magic, you're gonna hit just fine. The only thing you want to worry about is bringing something that boosts magic damage, which we will talk about in the gear setup. Next up, we are going to jump into the Barrows drop table. Now, on this drop table, you will see the 4 items from each brother, Aram, Darok, Guthin, Carol, Torag, and Varrock. They are all the same drop rate, 7 times 1 in 2,448. Now, without going into all the math involved in that, your chances of receiving a Barrows item if you kill all 6 brothers every round is approximately 1 in 15. So basically, every 15 Barrows chest, you should be seeing at least 1 item. Now, obviously, it is RNG, so it can be a little bit hateful sometimes towards you. So you might go on some dry streaks, but in the long run, you will most likely catch up. Now, the important part to the drop table is going to be down here on the main table, which is where your runes come from. Coins, mind runes, chaos runes, death runes, blood runes, bolt racks, which we don't want to see, loop half, tooth half, and dragon med helms, which we also don't want to see. So basically, at Barrows, you will have loot potential, but you want to keep that loot potential between 86 and 88%. This will eliminate getting bolt racks from your loot, which gives you a better opportunity for more rolls on the runes. So that is very important when you're doing Barrows. The bolt racks really don't add a lot of value, so it's not really worth taking the extra time to get over 88% loot potential, and definitely not 100% loot potential, because that will give you the ability for loop halves, tooth halves, and dragon med helms. I should also mention here, Barrows is actually one of the best places to hunt for elite clues, because no matter how many Barrows brothers you kill, when you loot the chest, you will always have the same odds of getting an elite clue. So moving on to my gear and inventory setup. It is very simple and it is very affordable for most mid-level accounts. Aside from the trident, because of the video that I'm doing, I didn't want to have to recharge it a lot, and I can afford the trident that holds up to like 20,000 charges or something like that, so I went ahead and got that one. But for a normal account, your weapon for magic could just be a regular trident, which is relatively inexpensive. Your offhand is the Rune Defender, which is not going to affect your magic accuracy at all, because all of the brothers you'll be using magic on once again have level 1 magic, which makes their defense also level 1. As for the rest of the gear, a Berserker's Helm, Ava's Accumulator, but if you have an assembler, you can use that. For the magic damage boosting item, it is the Occult Necklace that will give you plus 10% to your magic damage, and it's pretty affordable, so very important to have that. It will speed up your kill times. Rune Arrows are going to be used for ranging Aram. Black Dragon Hide Top and Rune Legs. Barrows Gloves, Rune Boots, and a Berserker's Ring. The Berserker's Ring is there to speed up my kill potential once I am getting that up to loot the chest. Over the inventory, my melee weapon of choice is the Dragon Scimitar. For this one, I also have an Amulet of Fury, and this is for when I am ranging Aram as well as getting the kill count. For this video, I went ahead and went with the MSB imbued because it is very affordable, but obviously if you do have a toxic blowpipe or some other form of ranged weapon, you can use that. The MSB hits very well on Aram. As for the rest, I do have one ranging potion, and one dose of that would usually last me about 2 trips for Aram. 5 prayer potions, because this account only has level 52 prayer, so you're definitely going to need some prayer. If you are a mid-level account, you're not going to be able to get all the way through a run with that little bit of prayer points. 2 stamina potions, because you will run out of run energy, especially if you don't have a pool in your house, which I do not on this account. But if you do have one in your house, you will not need the stamina potions. As for the sharks, I do have 12 sharks in there because I was usually able to do about 5 to 6 runs on one inventory here before I had to bank. As for everything else, the spade, you will need a spade to dig into the crypts underneath of where the Barrows brothers are located. You will also need a strange old lockpick, which is very nice to have. If you don't know what this is, it will open any door in the Barrows crypts at any time. You won't have to hunt around for that door that'll let you into the chest room. Barrows teleports to get myself there. They are very quick, but if you aren't worried about time and you want to save a little bit more money, you could use the World 330 House Party World and use somebody's Portal Nexus to teleport there, and House Teleport tablets to get myself out to go to the bank and recharge my prayer, whatever I need to do. All right, on to the juicy stats for the video. First thing is going to be the total kills and the chests per hour. So I was able to do 224 chests. This is actually the first time I've done Barrows on my mid-level Zerker account. As for the total time spent, the usual 20 hours, this allowed me to average 11.2 chests per hour, and that is attributed to that strange old lockpick. If you don't have one, it is going to slow you down. I probably would have gotten about 9 to 9.5 chests an hour without it. Next up is going to be our total profit and profit per hour. So up on the screen now, you can see what I managed to get. So 250,000 gold coins throughout the Barrows chest, 68,000 mine runes, almost 26,000 chaos, 17,191 death runes, and 7,923 blood runes. Now again, this is without the Mauritania hard diaries done, so I am getting the normal amount of runes here. As for the drops, your loot is going to be very dependent on how lucky you are rolling certain items. I was actually pretty lucky. I managed to roll 2 Aram's tops and 2 Aram's bottoms, which are on the expensive side for the Barrows loot. Now throughout this, I should have averaged right around 15 drops. I got a little bit lucky and pulled 5 over that, so I ended up with 20 total drops. Once again, 2 Aram's tops, 2 Aram's bottoms, a Carol's skirt, 4 Darroch's helmets, 1 Darroch's plate body, 2 Darroch's axes, 1 Torag's helmet, 2 Guthan's skirts, 1 Varric's brassard, 2 Varric's skirts, and 2 flails. Total guide price is 20,141,338 GP. As for my supply costs, I am going to list everything out for you guys so you can get a good idea of what you might use here. So I did end up using 224 Barrows teleports, 225 teleport to house, 637 rune arrows, 9,624 trident casts, which are pretty cheap for the damage they do, 198 prayer potions, 25 ranging potions, 40 staminas, and 362 shark. This did bring my supply costs to a pretty decent amount, 5.39 million GP. But regardless of that, still a great net profit at 14.75 million, and my profit per hour, 737,000 GP. Not too bad on a mid-level account without the Mauritania hard diaries done. Now at this point in the video, I usually would go through the experience gained, but Barrows is not for gaining experience. You don't come here to train, you come here to make some money, so I am going to be leaving that part of the video out this time. We're going to go ahead and jump into my final thoughts. As for Barrows, I have done a lot of Barrows. On my main account, almost 3,000 KC, and now over 200 KC on my alt account here. Barrows continues to be a viable method to make money, especially for mid-level accounts. You don't need a lot of gear to get started, and you can obviously make a decent amount of money. 737k per hour on a mid-level account is pretty decent and definitely viable for getting bonds for an account. Now, obviously, as your levels do get higher, you can make a lot more money than that. I make somewhere around 1.2 to 1.3 million if I'm grinding Barrows on my main because of the stats and the upgraded gear that I'm using. So you can take that into account when comparing it to other bosses and monsters that you have seen in this series. I definitely would recommend this as a great starter place to get an account off the ground once you have some decent stats to get Barrows done. Realistically, all you really need is probably 60 attack, 75 strength, maybe 75 range, and 75 magic to use a Trident of the Seas, and you can get yourself started. You'll see profit, and it will only go up from there. So everybody, that is going to wrap up the final episode of the Real GP Zerker edition. I've been working on this series for several months now, and I'm kind of sad to see it come to a close, but it was a lot of fun finding out the profit per hours on mid-level accounts. If some of you recall, I did do a Real GP series on my main sometime back, and a lot of people requested to see a mid-level series, so I decided to put it to a vote, and you guys out there as the viewers delivered for what you wanted to see, and once again, I had a lot of fun making this series. So if you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up down below, and if you haven't done so yet, tap that subscribe button on your way out. If you'd like to support the channel in a greater way, you can become a channel member. It will help support the channel, and you'll also get exclusive access to community member only posts and in-game events with me. Don't forget, my CC and Discord are always open. If you have questions or you need help with something, go ahead and join, and I'm sure somebody can point you in the right direction. With that, everybody, thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.